miss Liverpool there, parading the rounds boards. And we're wondering how they're going to cope with the cut in Hutchins' eye. And there it is, a rather gruesome looking cut. Conteh taking in as much air as he can get, and he needs it in this heat of Liverpool Stadium. Expended a lot of energy there trying to take Hutchins out there, and the referee having another quick look at Hutchins' eye and
seconds out,
says it's okay for him to come out again. They're patching him up as best as they can there with the usual adrenaline coagulants. So round 3, the light heavyweight championship of the world, and Conteh making a record 3rd defence for a British champion at any weight since before the war, right back to the Jimmy Wilde and Benny Lynch days. Conteh's already equalled Ken Buchanan's defences and now wants to go and carve his own bit of boxing history. Hutchins looking a bit ragged. Trying to set him up, open him up with that left jab there, make Hutchins drop his hands a bit. Good old pro campaigner, knows how to get out of trouble. Fighting away from home, everything against him. Managed to stay from being knocked down so far. The record shows that he takes a good punch. Only lost 2 decisions. But it's difficult to see what Hutchins has got to offer now to get back into this fight. Well, he's got something to offer, even if they're not all correctly landed, those punches. He's flurried away successfully for a minute there. Even hear the count, but he'll show his fingers. His legs are almost like an infant in a playpen, and it's all over. He cannot see where he is there. He was stiff-legged there, Len Hutchins, as the ring is usually besieged, and Conteh has retained his championship in the 3rd round, and there's chance of easy from the Liverpool crowd. That left hook really did the damage. So let's have a look at the slow-mo there. And this is going to be the final punch. He misses with that one. Tries to fight back, catches him on the brush of the head, and there it is. But I think, yes, the left hook on the side of the face, and he really went down there.
Brilliant scenes there, brilliant memories on Merseyside. John Conteh, still the best fighter the city of Liverpool has ever produced. He's now a very good after-dinner speaker as well, by the way. But before he took up that career, what a fighter he was, John.
Terrific fighter, Jim. He was a superb fighter. I think people tend to forget just how good John Conteh was. I think when you look at, if you were to draw up a list of the 10 best fighters this country's ever had, for me, John Conteh's got to be right in there, and up near the top as well. I think at his best, John Conteh was such a handful. He was a good fighter.
Dukey was a bit of a personal hero for you, wasn't he?
Yeah, I loved Conteh when I was a kid. My brother used to train, Clinton used to train in the same gym as John Conteh, the Wellington gym over in North London, and they were both trained by George Francis, and I was about maybe 10 years old, 11 years old, and walked into the gym, and Conteh was sparring with a guy called Lottie Mawali, who went on to challenge for the World Championship also, and they were just, it was like world-class sparring. It was the best sparring you could get, and those two used to just go at it. It's fantastic.
George used to have them jumping into that pool, didn't he, up on
yeah.
Hampstead Heath.
Right.
Ice cold
water.
Yeah.
What was it professionally that set him apart, John Conteh?
I think Conteh had everything. He had a spitefulness about him that most British boxers today just don't have, as well as his boxing skills. Conteh was really good at using his head, you know, using the nut and the elbows, but he was taught that by the great George Francis.
Did he use that against Mr. Hutchins?
I think so. I think so. If you look at that
Welcome
fight
to Merseyside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It was the Scotsman's kiss, wasn't it? It was one of them.
You know, we were thinking about how good he was, Jim. Though, you know, we've talked a bit about Joe Calzaghe and fighting as light heavyweight. If John Conteh had been around now, I'm not totally convinced that Joe would have wanted to go too near him.
It would have been a mouth-watering prospect.
What a fight! What a fight that would have been.
Yeah.
And if they had gone together, head-to-head, just finally, from the two of you, who would have got that particular decision? Conteh v Calzaghe in his prime?
Prime, I think for me, Conteh would have had a little bit of height on Joe, probably. Maybe a little bit too spiteful for Joe. Maybe. You know, it's an interesting debate.
I think Joe was at his best as a super middleweight. As a light heavyweight, I think Conteh might just have been a bit too big for him. Possibly. I don't know. I've got to see both these guys again, haven't I?
Absolutely. You can debate it with them personally. John, Duke, thank you very much indeed for your